All right, so let's get into handstands. We'll flow through the basics and then see where everybody's at from there, and hopefully have some time to play a little bit at the end. First things first is wrist mobility, wrist strength. At least 50% of the handstands is in your wrist strength and mobility. Then it's your shoulder mobility and your shoulder strength. It's a long process to really get into the correct positions. Until then, your body compensates. Starting down, palms facing forward, and you want to spread your fingers out wide. And we're going to go first just wrist leans with most people, starting just here on your knees. As you progress from there, then you go into a full push-up. Bring your hands a little bit closer. Ideally, you want your hands underneath your shoulders for handstands. That is the ideal position. Knuckle push-ups, so you're pressing through your knuckles, keeping your fingers pressed and your knuckles pressed into the ground, putting your palm up. For this one, we're mainly just stretching, trying to get that mobilization through our fingers. Don't want you to lift up onto your fingers, just focus on pressing. Keeping your knuckles on the ground and just lift as high as you can while your knuckles are staying on the ground. And then from there, just a couple other stretches. You can just work back and forth. I want to flow through these pretty quickly. Again, as we're doing these stretches, always keep your arms straight and locked out. Handstands, you never want to bend, especially if you have a client who's new and who doesn't have the strength. That's their first line of defense and your first safety mechanism is that your arms are straight and locked out. As soon as they're bent, their face coming into the ground becomes a lot much more likely. A couple reverse drills because we spend so much time in extension. So curling your knuckles in, you can do palms up and clench your fingers, elbows locked out. You can pop to a knuckle, but if you do this, the most common thing is people overextend. We want to just stop in a straight stacked wrist position. Have you guys heard of muscle flossing technique where they wrap a joint in a tight band and then you move it and it flosses the muscles and the ligaments? Some physios or PTs will use it. This is a makeshift muscle flossing technique that we can use. So you're gonna go into a squat, wrap your knees behind your hamstrings, put them in front, and then we're gonna sit down on our forearms, pinching them here. And then you're gonna open and close your hands really quickly. This is a great one if you're having wrist pain. Also is a great warm up and strengthening technique for those joints as well. They're all good.
Too damn big.
You can start with like 20 and build up to 30 and even up to 50 before your practice. And then especially after your practice, this is a great one to getting into our shoulder warm up. So with the handstands, the goal is to be as tall, straight, and stacked as possible. Just like if you hold a kettlebell overhead, is it efficient to hold out here, you're not gonna hold it long. If you're back here and dumping into your lower back, again, you're still not gonna hold it long. The goal is also with handstands is to get our entire body as straight, stacked, and as possible, and that's where that free float, efficient handstand comes into place. The biggest limiting factor is the shoulder mobility, but not just the shoulder mobility, but also the shoulder strength. We gotta get our shoulders opened all the way. And the biggest thing that compensates when you do that is your lower back arches. We gotta start pulling our ribs in and working the shoulder mobility there. That downward facing dog is the great one, and the other ones can help loosen up the joints. It is muscle memory for our shoulder, closed shoulder angle to the open shoulder angle for the handstand. So you're here, but instead of just pushing back, I want you to actually think, press, protract through the shoulders, keep pressing up, 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 and then press back into your downward facing dog. What that looks like from the front is as you press up your front delts, you're actually trying to get those as close to your cheeks as possible. And as if you're trying to hide your ears through your shoulders. That's where we're gonna get the real work, is pressing up and then look at your hands at all times. Get this to your cheek, press in. Yeah. That's the real challenge, especially when you have muscle mass and your shoulders are broader. Real challenge is to bring it in and actually press through your shoulders instead of coming out here and relying on your tricep chest strength and trying to muscle your handstand. You want to open up and find that balance. In our handstands, we want to look and we want to press through our shoulders. If our head is back, we can't press through our shoulders as much as we can versus looking and not throwing your head back, but just looking at your hands. Then you're able to really press up a lot more efficiently. Next, we're gonna start to put some weight into our shoulders, start to invert. But before I let anybody ever throw into the handstand, I always start from the ground up. I like to see their form in the downward facing dog. I like to see their strength. I always bring them here to the bench first or the wall. I like to see if they're strong enough to keep their triceps locked out. They're pressing through their shoulders as we just start to get some weight into the hands. So from here, always look at your hands. Press your shoulders, lean your shoulders into your hands before you press up, and then pressing this foot into the box. We're just hovering this foot first, and I like to see that with them first if they're able to keep out. If they're already like bending their arms and sagging down, then I'm probably not going to go further with them than just here. If that feels like obviously it's going to feel easy for you guys, but with your clients as you progress through, if they're able to float here easily, then we can bring it here and focus on getting the shoulders, wrists, and hips all stacked. Then we can start to float here, bring it down, and hinge from here all the way up. The key points I want to see with you guys, and this gets into our next point, is the shoulders over the hands. Ideally, you're actually trying to get your shoulders over your knuckles. If your shoulders are over the base of your hand, which is often what we are doing when we're up against the wall, when you try to actually hold a full handstand, your delts aren't strong enough because you've been just working. Everybody works their handstands here, but it's actually not the free float handstand. You have to get your weight over your knuckles, and that pulls you off the wall. So that shoulder position, leaning it over your knuckles versus back here, is the key. Bring your shoulders over, and that free floats your handstand. I want to see your shoulders over your knuckles at all times, and that's working that shoulder strength that we actually use for the handstand. You got it. Straight and press through. Look at your hands, and then come down. Yeah. I'm pushing you guys.
Yeah, no.
Another thing, guys, I'm gonna harp on point your toes, straighten your legs, because not only do you look pretty when you have nice, straight, controlled legs, but it also brings that mind-body awareness through to your toes. And what's easier to manipulate, a loosey-goosey rope or a tight, straight PVC pipe? Exactly. So in the air, as we're moving our legs, if your legs are doing this, that takes so much work for your wrists and your shoulders to balance, versus if you have tight, straight legs, now you can actually utilize those to move your body through the air more so. Nice. Now you can lift one leg, press through the shoulders more so, and you can slowly start to hover that leg. Nice. Good, press to the shoulders, press to the shoulders. Nice. Oh, shit. That wall is rough. That was great. We pushed you to failure, but that was great. Normally, if you...
I could feel when I lost that, as soon as my shoulders started sinking.
Yep, exactly. That was great.
Okay, cool.
Look at your hands right here. Pull. Nice, free float. Point your toes, tight, squeeze your legs, pull the ribs in. Pull the ribs in. Nice. That was great.
My hardest part is pulling the ribs in.
Yeah, and that's that shoulder mobility. But you're also still in a little bit of an underbalance. If you're in underbalance, your body has no option than to arch the lower back to balance out. So if you can push into overbalance, where your shoulders are over your knuckles, and you build that delt strength, then once you're over there, then your body can actually tuck the ribs and line up. So up onto your fingertips, so your shoulders are extended. You want to press your chest into the ground, because we do a lot of these drills where you pull your whole body off, but you actually want to press your chest into the ground. And then so guys, watch my form first before you go. You want to press your chest in the ground, and you're trying to actually get your armpits down to the ground, quads, legs straight, and then you tuck and pull your pelvis off the ground. So your chest is pressed into the ground, and your elbows are your armpits are pressing down to the ground. Don't bend your arms, keep them straight, press your armpits closer and closer to the ground while Continuing to pull your ribs in and up. Bring your hands in a little bit closer. Armpits down while pulling your ribs in now. Heels and toes together. Ribs in, and look at your hands. So not your chest, press your chest into the ground. Press your chest into the ground and then pull your ribs in. That's great. This is pretty good. Look at your hands. Press your chest into the ground, pull your ribs in. We want to get our hands and our shoulders from being behind us in our handstand to actually to the side of our body. And so we're pressed up, stacked in alignment. Again, this is getting into a little bit more technical stuff. For the most people, they're just excited if they can do a handstand against the wall. But for you guys, this is things to be thinking about with your drills and how you practice. Because again, if we just do a handstand against the wall and we're leaning here and all of our weight's on the wall, we're not actually building the delt strength and the shoulder strength needed for handstands. You need to pull your shoulders over your wrists, over your knuckles, and be light on the wall and start to float. So let's go back to the wall now. Work up, find your area. And again, the first instinct is to be leaning on the wall behind. You need to first correct your shoulder position, then pull your ribs in. Legs tight, straight. Then in this position, the more you lean over your shoulders, the more you start to free float. So first shoulders, then ribs, then straight stacked toes, then start to float.
This is my first time ever doing a handstand.
Oh my goodness, Phil, congratulations.
All right, so go up.
Yep, and guys, also spotting this, especially if it's the first one, I grab their shoulder here and I'm controlling their waist. Their legs, don't worry about those. Focus on their shoulder and their waist. That's where you have the control. All right, go ahead. So you can stay right there. Just like walk your legs up tall and straight.
I'm not gonna fall.
Nope, you're okay. Tall, straighten your legs. Good. Now, from here, just one leg away from the wall. No, that's okay. You have faith. I got you.
Should I straighten or point or flex?
Straighten and point. Good. Tight leg.
Yeah, buddy.
Good. Press through your shoulders. Yeah, be light on the wall. Press your shoulders. Good. And then come down, rest.
Come down all the way.
Uh-huh. Rest your shoulders. And then let's do one more here.
Okay.
So we're gonna just step up on the wall and then you're gonna lift one leg and then we're gonna bring your legs together. Shake out your shoulders, keep pressing your shoulders. You're super strong, you're stable.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's just you're doing it the first time.
I'm gonna break my neck.
You won't. Let's do
not
it.
gonna break my neck.
Nope. Worst case, if you start to collapse through your shoulders, I'm gonna make sure your feet come down first. We're gonna bring your feet and tuck your knees down, and then you're gonna come down to your feet and knees.
Okay.
And so to heavily spot guys, I grab their waist. So if they start to collapse, you'll literally lift them up and slowly let them come down. Shoulders over, that's good shoulder position. One leg, and then bring the other leg. Yes, tight legs. Yes. And then down. Yes. Yes, you're welcome. Yes, always. Shoulders over here. Good. One leg at a time. And then the other leg.
Oh yeah.
Heels together.
Shizzle.
And toes together. And free float. And down.
Yeah, buddy.
Yes! That was good! You felt it, yes! Nice, look at this! Woo, heels together, feet together, feet together. Yep, a little bit straighter through the legs. Bring your legs up. Yeah, and then down. Yes! Very good. Hey, give me a high five. That was great. That was super good. How I'm spotting these is, one, I'm walking up through the shoulders, and then if they need a heavy spot, if I'm not so sure that their shoulders are gonna hold, I grab their waist with both hands and I'm assisting, and if I start to feel any weakness, then I literally pull weight off of their shoulders and make sure their feet come down first. If they're strong and I feel that they're stable, which he is, then I go to their legs and I help find this balance. Toes together, press through the shoulders, press up.
Long deep breaths and just relax your body.
Yeah. Nice.
I'll take it.
Hey, that was great.
Thank you.
All right, Molly, you got this. You've already been killing it over here. So strong. So easy.
She's dancing up.
That's so easy.
Like Spider-Man.
Nice. Press through the shoulders. Look at your hands. Legs, point your toes.
You got it.
Keep pressing through the shoulders. Keep your elbows straight. And then carefully come on down. That was solid.
Yeah, buddy.
Yes.
You go down, you go from leg to other side of thigh and then let them fold kind of thing?
As far as spotting,
Yeah.
more so. So it depends. So if they're strong and they're in their handstand, then I make sure that they're stable, then I go to the waist. If they're strong and I feel that they're solid, then I go to their legs, let them balance free float. Coming down, I go back to their waist. Because, yeah. If they start to, because the biggest thing is your feet come over your head, you start to arch, you want to fall forward, and that's when you want to have their waist, and so you can pull them back and get their knees in close.
This might be jumping, but how do you practice going from the top by yourself to like that cartwheel side down? Yeah.
Great question. That's going into how to bail out of a handstand. There's three ways. There's arching down, there's somersaulting out, and then there's the classic cartwheel, which is the best option. So to go into the cartwheel, let's borrow this. The handstand bailout is basically just a cartwheel with one extra handstand step. To start, you learn a cartwheel, then you go to the wall, you just practice kicking off to the side. And so then, in the actual handstand, you're just here, step, and then coming back out. Okay. So it's just, we can actually practice that really quick and then we can go into our free float handstands. Everybody do a couple cartwheels.
I learned cartwheels.
There you go, that's it. If you haven't done a cartwheel, super easy way to learn the cartwheel is give yourself a line to hop over. Your hands, so I'm gonna hop over this line and this line. My hands go in between, my feet just hop over the line. That is literally it. So you don't have to think about coming up super high. If you just hop your feet over that line, you've already done a cartwheel. Yes, perfect, just like that.
Really, just like that?
Just like that. The only other thing you can add is just keeping your legs straight. Hey, that's like a round off, nice. Practice that step down because that's what we really use in handstands. That kick up and kick step down. That step down helps bring your feet up. So if we do a handstand and we bring both feet down at the same time, then you're awkwardly coming up versus if you're here, then you can easily stand up and also get back into it fast. So that's just the only critique. But you basically just bypassed the cartwheel and did a round off.
No, just a back clap. We should have clapped that.
No, he just bypassed the cartwheel and went on to the next tricks.
Yep.
Easy, yeah, easy.
Oh shit.
Nice. No, it's great. Stand here, put your hands on the ground first, step your feet over, and then over here. Kind of like a downward facing dog, but you just hop your feet. Yes, that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
We did it.
Yep. The cartwheel, if you break it down into the steps, is super simple. The technical cartwheel is your hips are closed, opened hips, closed hips.
Whoa!
Yes, beautiful.
Hey.
Yes, that works. Your body twisted, kept going.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we're gonna do cartwheels.
Literally. Oh, that's amazing.
Yes. So you're gonna go handstand, take one step with your hand, then cartwheel out. Heels together. Then step. There it is. That's the angle. Heels together. Good. No, it's all good.
All right.
And then, yep, cartwheel. Yep, easy.
All right.
Not so much. So basically what that is when you're in your handstand, as soon as you let one support go, you're gonna fall to that side and you're just cartwheeling out. So that's that step, opening that shoulder, removing that base, that support, and then you cartwheel out. Kick this leg, just kick it up straight up in the air as if you're trying to punch the ceiling. Amazing.
Oh, wow.
Easy. I knew you had this. And then one leg down at a time. Yep. Stand up.
Right.
Ta-da! That was really good. Do you guys see? She just like punched the ceiling and she just went whoop, just straight up. That's that goal, is to be punching. So if you're kicking up with this huge momentum, then that's going to carry you forward, start the cartwheel, or if you're super strong, you're just going to absorb it. And I mean, again, you can, but if you really want to be efficient with your kick-ups, then you're just trying to bring that momentum down and straight up. So I really like to just bring my feet into my hips, and then you just punch up and down.
That's the part where it's difficult for me.
But it also might be some mobility, potentially. If it's difficult to get into a full bent over position, then it's easier to start from here and go into it. Wall slides. This really challenges your shoulder strength. So the first one is you're just doing half slides. Pressing up, keeping your hips parallel, leaning your shoulders over, and leaning back. The biggest thing everybody wants to do is let their hips stick out. You gotta tuck your pelvis, press forward. And then the more you lean over your shoulders, the more you can float your feet off the wall and press into a handstand. So try the lean first and then try floating. Start with leaning over and then back. Don't go so far that you fall on your face. Lean your shoulders over your wrists and then bring your feet off the wall. Good, that's great. And then feet back to the wall and walk yourself back down. Great, good job. That's super strong. All right, you are welcome. That's awesome.
Get it, Sebastian.
And it's a little bit closer. Good. Tuck your pelvis. Good. Just try to keep your arms straight as well. And then also don't sag into your shoulders, but press up. No, it's super challenging. Again, already leaning over your shoulders is challenging, and then to lean far enough that your toes start to float, that's the next level.
That's good, I like that.
You also super far out, which makes it more challenging. You would have to planche. So next time we can come a lot closer to the wall, and then makes it, you don't have to lean as far over your shoulders to float the feet.
Okay, yeah.
Tuck your hips, lean with your shoulders, and you can let your feet float. That was great. Woo. Good. Press through your shoulders and then slowly come on down. Good. Good.
Wow.
That was great. That was really, really good. The first one was super good, and then you got into using your hips more.
Yeah.
That was still good alignment. Hips locked in place. I just want you to pull off with your shoulders.
Okay.
There you go. Now press over with just your shoulders. You're leaning with your hips still. Hips back. Yep, lean over with your shoulders. There it is.
Woo!
All right.
Wow.
Yes. There it is. Nice. That was great. So your big challenge, because as you are used to doing your handstands, compensating with your hips and your lower back, you have to learn how to use your shoulders more, bring your shoulders over your knuckles, and then you'll be able to line up and stack your handstand without any lower back arch. Nice. Do you guys see the tendency is just to leave the wall with your hips, and your shoulders want to stay in this open position.
Yeah.
We have to build the shoulder and delt strength so we can get our shoulders over our knuckles. Hands, goal here. Good. And then press through the shoulders, look at your hands, and then lean away with your shoulders. Hips closer to the wall. Press through the shoulders. And then float.
Floating butterfly.
You were a little cheaty with one leg and then the other, but that's great. This is good position. Try it one more time. You got it in you. Press, breathe.
Butterfly beans. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's great.
All right.
Do you guys see right here, if you can? No, it's so good. That was super good. You got it right. This is really good position. His lower back was straight, super straight. That was all delts. That's why you clap so fast, because you actually work in the correct muscles. If you're,
But his arms were slightly bent.
his arms are slightly bent, but he was leaning over, really firing those rear delts. It's just the arm bend is a little bit of mobility, I feel.
So it's not like an issue when you're doing. You wouldn't collapse sooner because you're bent.
You actually, yeah, you would, because if you're having to use, the more straighter and stacked you can be, the more efficient you are. So the more mobility you have, tight and stacked, the better your handstands will be. But the reason There it is. Heels together. And down. So you guys are all super strong. Hold on. You guys are all super strong. So you're relying on your shoulder strength. You're relying on all your steps to balance you. I don't want you guys to rely on your steps. I want you guys to actually press through the shoulders, press through the hands, and actually work that handstand balancing. I know you could all easily handstand walk.
This is more like.
This is great. This is really good. Shoulders, keep pressing. Nice. Now your next challenge is to do a tuck handstand. Yeah, now pull your knees in.
Oh, yeah.
That'll work that rear delt for you. Yes.
Oh!
Wow.
Nice. Hold. Keep pressing through the shoulders. Press into your fingers. And down. Good. Next. That was great. Super good. Yes. This is so good. This is so good. You locked in these shoulders. That was good.
Hey.
Nice cartwheel out.
I'm gonna get it.
That was a good cartwheel out. That was good. Yes. Woo!
All right.
And down. Super strong.
Landing
Yes.
soft. Landing soft.
Yes,
Thank you.
that's awesome.
Yeah, that was really good.
Shoulders over. Look at your hands. There it is. Ah, look at that. And one leg down. Ta-da! That was great. Amazing. That head position, that was all the difference.